Hello, welcome to another episode of Front Row. Today we have with us Dr. Anush Amarasinghe, CEO of BPPL Holdings with us. Anush, welcome to Front Row.
Thank you.
I would like to start by asking, we are constantly saying that entrepreneurship is a scarce resource in Sri Lanka, and creating companies, and especially creating successful and thriving companies, is not necessarily a thing that a lot of our youth aspires to do. And being in the business for a long time and having worked in multiple new initiatives of creating companies, products, can you let us know what has been your experience, and how can Sri Lanka create companies, especially those that can succeed in international markets?
Thank you for having me, Subhashini. I'd be happy to. The first thing is that you need to have your ears open to the rest of the world, both in Sri Lanka as well as overseas. You've got to be tuned into those countries, into those markets, into human behavior in those countries, and see, how the world is evolving. And you've got to then look at opportunities that you could create value, and then plug those holes. So if you, for example, if you take companies that have been involved in the past, in creating, in investing, to begin with, if you take e-channeling, the doctor portal in Sri Lanka, that was a company we created back in 1999. There was a need for doctors to be channeled, and there were people from all parts of the country coming at early in the morning. These are patients coming early in the morning to Colombo to see specialists, because in Sri Lanka I think you always try to go and see a specialist as opposed to your GP. And then they had to come and get their tickets, and they had to wait till evening to see the doctor, and then generally stay the night and then go back the next morning, which was obviously, when you're ill, that's tough. So that's when we created this portal, this booking system. And at the time, e-commerce was evolving, computer penetration was low, we didn't have smartphones then. So what we did was we went into banks and bank branches and pharmacies, and created a network where you could go into any one of those branches, bank branches, Sampath Bank at the time, and book your doctor and pay for the doctor, and then you would come in the evening. So there was an opportunity there, and spotting that opportunity and then providing a solution. Millennium IT was a company where is very successful in developing software for the capital markets. Again, we saw an opportunity there at the time where the capital markets and the IT industry, the way it was working was changing. It was no longer a case of calling your broker and placing an order. Most of the trading was happening through computer-generated orders, and coming in very fast. And the orders are going into exchanges that could match your order with a sell order or a buy order, where exchanges could respond as fast as possible. So if you, for example, if you were Microsoft, you could be listed in multiple exchanges, and you wanted to buy Microsoft, the order would go to the exchange that, so we created this software package, which at the time was one of the fastest. And that enabled several large exchanges like the London Stock Exchange, to be involved and acquire the company.
So what I gather from what Anush was saying is largely that one of the critical factors in creating a firm, creating value, is identifying gaps, identifying needs of your target consumer, and seeing how can you produce a product or a service to cater to the need, to make it easier or make their life easier and better. So in this journey, Anush, one of the most, so that is one of the critical success factors in terms of creating a profitable firm. But at the same time, in Sri Lanka, we frequently hear firms that really have these fabulous ideas, but translating this idea into action requires basically interactions in many instances with multiple bureaucratic agencies and to get various approvals, certificates, registrations. And we have frequently heard that this is a significant bottleneck the country faces. Also, have you encountered this in any of your fields, or do you feel this is exaggerated?
No, I mean, that does happen. But we are fortunate in that most of the companies that I've been involved in have been in the export sector. And for one reason or the other, the bureaucracy or the systems are far better geared to deal and give approvals faster in those areas. So I've been fortunate in that, got stuck to exports and that's helped me.
Right. So basically in managing and operating your business, do you feel that there are things Sri Lanka can do better to help new firms from coming up and assist startups and newcomers into the sector? And is there any advice that you can give to newcomers in terms of what they should do and not do?
Yes. So as I said, as an individual, you've got to be open. You've got to be, exposed to the rest of the world, and be able to convince your stakeholders, that there's an opportunity. But from a government's point of view, I mean, the amount of people who could do this convincingly are few and far between, and that's why you have less successful firms. But as a government, I think what we should be doing is identifying areas such as this. I'll give you a good example of the coconut industry, the coconut fiber industry, where the amount of investment that has gone into the coconut millers and producing, going up the value chain there is significantly lesser. Those are small entrepreneurs who don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the finance, they don't have the technology, they don't know what they need to do. So if the EDB, for example, was to come in, building industry knowledge, expert knowledge in these key sectors, coconut, for example, is a key industry for the country, building that sufficient knowledge and then help these entrepreneurs. So all they need is that help in developing, investing in new technology to do things better. So what's happening now is that that's not happening, and then people are moving, the coconut millers are moving into other things. That would be an example.
Thank you very much, Anush, for being with us. Stay tuned for more episodes of Front Row. Thank you.